Okay, so I'm going to do 3 problems with you. If you don't need them, do them on your own. That's okay. At this point, you should be pretty good at this already. So if you're relying too much on my help, ask for a tutorial pass. We need to get you on your own. Thursday is our CBA. So by Thursday, you need to be good at this. So you should be feeling okay right now. So we have a picture, and I told you you don't have to use the pictures if you don't like them, but you do have to know how to read them. So in this picture, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 X's. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones. And I know my pen is shaky. Greater than 1. So we know to solve equations, our first step is to add or subtract. And our second step is to multiply or divide. So the first thing you're going to do is look at your coefficient, the number before x. Is it positive or negative? It's positive. So your sign is going to stay exactly the way it is. It's not going to flip. And then you can do step 1. Go ahead and subtract 5. On this side, you end up with 4x. And 1 minus 5 is negative 4. That's step 1. Step 2 is to multiply or divide. Right now, this is 4 times x, so the opposite of times is divide. So x, this should be a 4, x is greater than negative 1. Is that an answer choice? Good. Okay, same thing. You're going to solve the equation. Now, you can do it a couple ways. You could take these numbers, put them in for y, and work it until you find one that gives you the right answer. Or you could just solve. I like to just solve, because then I only have to do it once. That's negative 2/3 y minus 51. I wish that wasn't a y. Feels weird. Go ahead and divide it. Now, right away, is the number in front of my variable, is my coefficient positive or negative? It's negative. So if it's negative, my sign is going to change directions. Not yet, but it will. So I always look at that ahead of time just so I know. And don't forget. So first step, you're going to add. These cancel out. You're left with negative 2/3 y. And 691. I think that's right. Now, how are you going to get rid of negative 2/3? So step 2 is to multiply or divide. Right now, you are multiplying times a fraction. So what you want to do is divide by the fraction, which is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So we're not going to do all this stuff. We're just going to cut straight to multiplying by the reciprocal. So negative 2/3, we're going to multiply times negative 3/2 on both sides. These cancel out because they're opposite. So I have y. My sign changed directions. And then I'm going to multiply 196 times negative 3/2. I know my answer is going to be negative because of tic-tac-toe, so I can cross off 2 of them. And I know that the alligator is not eating Y, right? So I don't even have to do the problem. Remember, do what you know. Get as far as you can go, and then sometimes you can just figure out the answer. If you do want to solve, don't get upset about the fraction. You are multiplying by 3, dividing by 2. You can even do that in the other order. You could divide by 2 and then multiply by 3. It really doesn't matter. Multiply by 3 and then divide by 2. Still get the same answer. But you really didn't have to do all this. If you just calm down and think about it, it's not so bad. All right, these we always skip. We're not a fan of all the words. I understand. However, skip it your first time. These are medium problems. They're not hard. We just don't like them. So the first time you go through the test, you skip it. The second time, you do them. They're medium. They're not hard. It says Julia, Alex, Mario, and Monica work together to solve the inequality below. None of the students agree on how to solve the inequality, though some of them arrived at the same solution. Who has the correct process and solution for this inequality? You could solve it, or you could just start with reading. If it were me, I would solve it and then compare my steps to the other steps. But remember, your first step is to add or subtract, and your second step is to multiply or divide. So Julia says to add 3 to both sides, then divide by 5. Do you agree with that? I think this could be a good one. Alex says to subtract 3 from both sides. And why are we not subtracting 3? Because it is subtracted. We would want to add. So Alex is wrong. Mario says to subtract 3. And we're not subtracting 3. Monica says to add 3 to both sides, then divide by 5. Oh, that could be true too. Man, what is the difference between A and D? One has an equal sign, one has a greater than or equal to sign. Which sign should I have when I'm finished? Yep. So be careful. That was the only difference. Go ahead and finish the rest of the work on your own. Do as many as you can. Get as much practice as you can. Your test is Thursday, so the more practice you get, the better.